Can you see the screen? Okay. Yeah. So today's agenda on our spend analytics series is uh, how do we how do we perform supplier consolidation? How do we do supplier consolidation? And the second point we will also study is how do we do order consolidation? Okay. So what is called supplier consolidation and what is called order consolidation? So here I would like to give the concepts of both these questions, that is supplier consolidation and order consolidation. Uh, I'll also would like to tell you why we do supplier consolidation and why we do order consolidation. What are the benefits of doing supplier consolidation and the order consolidation in the spend analytics? Okay, so let's start with what is supplier consolidation. There is a common trend in the business all across the world, and the trend is a organization or a company will have its sister organization or sister companies. What is called sister organization and sister companies? A sister organization or a sister company is a subsidy of an organization or a organization with a different entity or a different name, or the founders of the organization have stakes in a different organization, in multiple organizations. So if one organization has multiple entities or multiple names, suppose we talk about one organization called Alphabet. Have you heard what is Alphabet? Which company is this Alphabet? This is a Google new firm. The Google new firm, which is a superset of all the Google companies, that is called Alphabet. And Google is one of the entity which belongs to the Alphabet. Samsung has a division called Samsung Electronics. It may have a different division or different investment on the automobile section. You heard about Tesla Motors. Tesla Motors. Tesla Motors has a investment in cars, space, transportation services. So if one organization has a different, recently we have seen with the case of Netlink. Netlink has two organizations. One is a supply chain, and other is a IT development company. Bajaj. Bajaj has multiple divisions. Bajaj Motors, Bajaj Appliances, Bajaj Electronics. Tata has multiple divisions. TCS, that's a computer software development division. Motor section, chemical section. Tata is also into venturing into food. Tata is also venturing into media. Wipro has two divisions. One is IT, software development. Other is manufacturing divisions, chemical divisions, media divisions. So organization, some of the cases where the superset or super organization is one, and below that there are multiple different entities are existing. Reliance, you talk about Reliance, or Reliance has chemical division, Reliance has apparel division, Reliance has now ventured into communications, like in mobile SIMs, internet, uh, fiber lines. Reliance is also into media communications. So there is a one superset organizations, and below that there are multiple different entities which are under the umbrella of the superset organization. This is one case. There are other case where a organization has is investments in other businesses. Third case where the same family is operating different businesses in different names, right? So those are called sister
Okay.
concerns. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what is called order consolidation? So, uh, suppose Prashant has a organization as an organization, and Prashant has this organization, and Prashant has multiple divisions of this organization in different areas and different parts of the geography. So you consider like you have a factory in India, you have a factory in Sri Lanka, then Cambodia, Bhutan, Myanmar, Vietnam, China. So you have multiple factories or multiple facilities at different countries, and each factory is producing, suppose, apparels. Each factory has same set of machines, probably different capacities. Different capacity means the production rate or the production volume is different in each facility. But if each factory is producing the apparels, so the raw material purchased for the production of the the customer required products will be same. The repair parts of the machines will also be same. So when your Vietnam factory or a Myanmar factory or Bhutan factory wants raw material, and each factory orders its own material at its own time with one supplier. Let's assume the supplier is called Samsung. Similarly, the Vietnam factory orders its material from Samsung. Myanmar factory also orders its material from Samsung. Bhutan factory also orders its material from Samsung, and India factory also orders its material from Samsung. But each of them orders differently at different times. So let's assume, yeah, Prashant, can you hear me?
Yes, Chris, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. So what is happening here is each factory is ordering its materials from Samsung only, but at different times. So let's assume the Vietnam factory has ordered 50 units. Bhutan factory has ordered 20 units. Myanmar factory has ordered 100 units, and India factory has ordered 1000 units. So 50 plus 20 plus 50 is 120 plus 1000, 1120 units. So if in this scenario every factory or from each country is ordering materials from Samsung differently. But if we order all the materials together, suppose if I know the total requirement from Vietnam, Bhutan, Myanmar, and India, and I consolidate it, and the consolidated volume is 1120. So particular, so there are two scenarios. So if which particular scenario has getting a higher chance of discount when we consolidate all the countries' demand, or when we buy individually from each country, when we buy individually for each country from the supplier. So the second, of course, the second scenario, when we consolidate the total demand and gives the order at once to the supplier, then the chance of actually getting a better discount is very high in the second scenario as compared to the first scenario, where we ordering materials from supplier individually for each facility, right? So so we will be focusing on today how to do order consolidation and how to do supplier consolidation, okay, to actually achieve the spend savings, and that we will perform on the data.
Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Chris, here, hello.
Yes, Prashant.
Here, our goal is to achieve spend savings.
Yes, we have to consolidate the total volume. Okay, total volume by factory demand, and total volume by supplier.
Okay.
So we are doing the consolidation for, when we are giving order to different, actually they are when we as per data they are different suppliers, but as per the business sense they're all same supplier. Okay. So so when I am consolidating the total sister concern's demand with the parent company, okay, so then that will achieve me to get higher cost savings or better discounts, right? So let's
Okay.
see how that we can do through the data. So I have a data. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, Krishna, it's clear. It's audible clearly.
Okay. So what I'll do, I'll take a data set of supplier which I have in this file, and I'll take this data set
Okay.
and I'll copy it into a sheet,
New sheet.
different sheet which I've already done it here.
Okay.
So now there are suppliers.
Only supplier column.
Yeah, suppliers only. We'll do the second aspect
Okay.
also a little later. Okay.
Okay.
First, I am taking this all the suppliers and copying them and putting them into one Excel sheet. Okay. Now what I will do is first step. Okay, let me to write the steps also. Take the supplier info on it on an Excel sheet.
Krish, hello.
Yeah.
In real time, the data will be in an Excel format only or in big data?
See, big data or Excel or CSV, right? There is a data when we have in a columnar structure. This is our
Okay.
columnar, right? So
Okay.
this might be in CSV or this might be in Excel. So what is important is whether we have data in the columnar structure or not. So if you look at
Okay.
all the firms right now have implemented some kind of ERPs. Okay, so
Okay.
if any companies who have ERPs, they will there we can definitely get data in the columnar structure. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And the companies who doesn't have ERPs, but they maintain data in Excel formats. Okay. There also will get data in columnar structure. That's called like this. Right?
Okay.
Very rarely there are some companies who are maintaining data. They don't have ERP systems. They don't have the you know they're not maintaining data in Excel sheets, but they're maintaining all the
Okay.
data into in paper formats, papers.
Paper form.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the challenge is very big. The challenge is big is because we have to convert first the paper data into an
Data collection.
columnar sheet. Okay. Some data
Okay.
entry, first the data entry job will be done. So there also we'll get once data entry job is done, so we can do data entry job as per our requirement. Like whether we
Requirement.
want in a CSV or we want in Excel. So all those things can be done, right? So
Procedure is same, but technology may vary.
yeah, procedure is same, technology may vary.
Okay.
So
Okay.
mostly, we don't have to worry whether because the most important thing is whether we are getting data in the columnar structure or not. That's the most important fact, right?
Okay. Okay.
So take the supplier info.
Krish,
Oh yeah.
can we merge two sheets in this Excel
See, merging two sheets, yeah, we can do this. We will use a
in
formula
Excel?
called, yeah, we can do that. We will use the formula called VLOOKUP,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that's the way we can actually merge the two data sheets in an Excel. Not in two data sheets, but two different Excel sheets also we can merge. Okay.
Okay. Using VLOOKUP.
Yeah, the formula we have to use is either we have to see that what kind of merging we are doing. Is data is in a vertical format? Is data is in a horizontal format? Okay. If the data is in
Okay.
vertical format, we'll use VLOOKUP. If the data which we need to merge is on the horizontal presented, then we have to use HLOOKUP. So there are two ways we can merge: VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP.
Okay.
You can find if you want to see, you can just find in the Google what is VLOOKUP or what is HLOOKUP. So that's the way we can merge two sheets in Excel in an Excel.
Okay. Okay.
So next is now we will generate the unique suppliers from the Excel sheet. So these things as of now I have a data sheet where all the duplicate suppliers are there. But if you want if you want a unique Excel sheet at once, so you can generate a query. You can write a query and generate only the unique suppliers from your database. Right? So you can write on a SQL query on a backend and generate a unique suppliers data list. So as of now, I don't have the privilege to write a query. So I am going to
Okay.
apply a Excel trick to generate the unique supplier list.
Supplier detail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here I'll take a step here. Okay, now I'll go into an option called remove duplicates.
Then in
Data validation. Yes.
in data
Validation.
tab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Duplicate.
Yes.
Staircase left.
Yeah.
Okay. Remove duplicates.
So here I'll go and say I'll click remove duplicates. Okay. So I have only
Okay.
one column. So I will select only one column, and my data has headers. I'll say,
Header.
okay. So okay. Okay. So
Here header is supplier.
supplier is a header.
Okay.
So now what I have left over here is the unique supplier list. Okay.
Okay. Means we have filtered into single name.
Yeah, only single name. Suppose previously
Single name.
ADCO Industries was repeated 100 times. Now we want
It is
only
into single name.
single name, right?
Okay.
So that's the way. Generally, this kind of tools are very easily available. Available on MS Access or Tableau or ClickView, where you can just write a query and immediately you will get the unique list. So as of now, we don't have such kind of flexibilities or facilities available in Excel. So we have to use only the some kind of icons instead of writing a queries here.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. So now we'll see. We will understand which are the sister concerns, which companies are sister concerns over here. Okay. So generally, this research is done on the base of two aspects. Okay. You have to go Google, find it which companies are sister concerns first. Second thing, you have to speak to the buyer whether he has any idea which companies are sister concerns. Second, third thing, you can also speak to supplier and ask them whether they have any sister concerns. Okay. So fourth thing is comes from the experience. So there are many ways we can actually try to find and the most easiest of them is to see the name similarities. To see the name similarities on the supplier list. Okay. So here if you look at here, Berry Material Handling and Berry Plastics Corporation. Berry Material Handling and Berry Plastic Corporation. I know these suppliers also, because name cannot also be, we have to validate. If they are having the same name, then what I will do, as I know they are from the same group, so I'm taking them as they are the same entity. But in case you're you're saying the same name, saying the same names over here, you're seeing the same names over here. So what you have to do, you have to call the supplier. Is Berry Material Handling belongs to Berry Plastics Corporation? Does Berry Plastic
What
Corp?
is the
Hello.
hello?
Yeah.
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. So does Berry Plastics Corporation belongs to Berry Material Handling? So we have to call the supplier, or we have to do research whether they belong to the same entity, or they are same entities, or they are sister concerns. So we have to do research on this. Okay. So as I know, I have already done the research for these two companies, so I know that they belong to the same entity. Okay, so this I will name it as sister concerns. I will name is at Berry Corporation. Okay, then I will name the second also as a Berry Corporation. Let's find few more companies.
Krish, here we have to check manually, or is there any other alternative?
See, there is one option called SVM, support vector machines. Okay.
Yes, okay.
We can apply support vector machines here and can find the similar names. Now we are getting is Snap-on. We'll say Snap-on Corporation.
Yes. Yeah, perfect.
And the other way in Excel we can do is, so as of now I know this, right? I'll hide this column. Now I'll take this somewhere. So there's one more way to actually do in Excel itself. That is called, I'll go to data. There is an option called text to columns. Okay, there's an option called text to columns. We'll go to text to columns. Are you seeing, Prashant?
Yes, Krish, I'm here.
I've just no, I've just selected text to columns. Let me tell you the process once again. I'm selecting supplier and then going to data. Okay, so right now I'm in home. I'm going to data. From data, I'm going to text to columns.
Text to column.
In text to columns, there are two options: delimited or fixed width. Fixed width. So fixed width means I'll choose fixed width first, and I'll show you what is this. So we can actually draw a line from which line we want to separate the data.
For first word.
The first word or second word, Yes. So I'm going back now to show how delimited works. So I'm into delimited now. I'm clicking next now. Here we can choose. So there are multiple options are there. That's called delimiters. In delimiters, we can select either tab or semicolon or comma or space or other. So what is space and comma semicolon here? Suppose I have a word called Adco Industries. Okay. There is after Adco there is a space, then called industries. Okay. After aerospace there is a space, then diversified, then space, then products. Then the same case for air technologies incorporation, there is a air, then space and technologies, then common incorporation. So we have to see how our supply data has been written. we have to see how our supplier data has been structured. If we have more commas,
Okay.
if you have more commas, then we'll select commas here. If you have less, if you have more space between the two different words, we'll select the space over here. Okay. So in this case, and if you want to choose some other uh, you know a sign or some other character, you can also choose some other character. I will say that's option called other. In other you can mention, just like I'm mentioning a character called opening bracket. Okay. So if I put other and the opening bracket, then it will break the data. It will disintegrate the data into components based upon wherever there is a opening bracket.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as of now, I'll choose the option called space. See, the moment I selected the space, my data is on the preview section at the bottom. You can see there is data is splitting into multiple, or data is getting disintegrated into multiple components. Right? So as of now, I'll only choose space because I have more space. More, no, I have this, the data structure where the data or the words are having are dividing into are dividing by using the space. So I'll click that particular space and click next. Then I'll click finish. So if you look at it, my data has got split into various columns. Now if I see snap on snap, right? Then I will see count of, when I use a formula called count if add co, range from add co to mark star. So how many add cos are there? How many add cos are there? Add cos are there. There is only one add co. How many aerospace are there? There is only one aerospace. So instead of writing this, dragging one by one cell, I'll drag it to the last cell. If you look at here, very
Barrier two.
barrier two, like, but it's showing only one here. So why is showing one? It should show two. Barrier two, right? So these are the headaches in actually the process. So let me see. Let me go and do one more formula. I'll apply one more formula here. That is called trim. I'll select ADCO here and click it. So what trim does is it will remove all the gaps between the words. Okay. So let's see and update. Let's apply this formula on B2. We applied also on A2. I'll say B2. I'll change wherever A is there. I'll change it to B. Let's see if this works. This also has to work. So we are not getting the berry has two. This is B11 and B2 to B75. So this is also not working. Okay. Let's do one more thing. Let's remove the formats. I'll go back to home. I'll go to clear. I'll say clear formats.
Clear format.
And let me apply a formula here also in the website. I'll just apply individually. Count, then I'll say range. Range, then criteria. But you are here formulas or we give first two, first change the formula. We have to give first the range. The range is this, and we are applying this. Now we get this. See now is what? See very is two now. So what we understood from this first iteration. This is called first iteration. Just Prashant, give me a minute. I'm getting a call.
Okay, Krish.
Ah, ah. Why not it? Uh-huh. Okay. Ah, uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Other integer. Ah, integer. Okay, correct. Okay. Right. Okay. So this was our first iteration. So in the real-time scenario, finding similarity between suppliers, okay, can happen on the first column. It may happen on the second column also, right? The first column means this A column A, where the first names of the organization is starting from. Okay, some organizations, can actually the where we can find similarity in the second column also, or maybe third column also. So what is the second column here? Column D, where industries, diversified technologies, mid south. Okay, these are the second column or second column. Third column is products. Okay, so in the real, if you actually apply SVM, support vector machines.
Okay.
So here we will understand the gaps between how much gap is there between ADCO and industries. Okay, how much gap is there between ADCO and aerospace. Okay, the boundary, right? The boundary we can actually understand. So the SVM is the most easiest method to apply to understand how much similarities suppliers has between them. So this is a process. What are we doing is just a process similar to SVM. Okay, we're trying to understand how similar one supplier is to other supplier in terms of the row as well as the column. What is row means? ADCO to aerospace, aerospace to air. That is called row similarities. Then we're trying to also understand between you know uh, the ADCO industries to aerospace diversified, or industries to diversified, technologies to mid south. So we are trying to understand the column and the row. So we will apply SVM for the column differently, SVM for the row separately.
Okay.
Now if you look at here the snap on, right? So snap on in the snap on and snap, they are not actually same. So the way we did separation, the way we did the separation text to columns, that needs one more addition, one more step, or one more delimiters. That is we call is dash or hyphen. Okay. So I'm also going to put hyphen here. Now apply the same process. Okay. Now we have snap and snap. Okay. Then we'll apply the formula again. Same formula again. The first iteration. Okay. Instead of B, we'll put A here now, because we're going to apply this on the A column A. So let's apply the formula again. This is second iteration. I'll write the second iteration. This process is called data cleansing and data preparation. Okay. So if you look at berries, now we'll apply a formula called, we'll apply a filter here, and we'll say number greater than 1. The two ways to do is, one, we can actually deselect one and choose all others, and there's one more way is called number filters. Go to number filters and choose greater than 1.
One. Okay.
These are the suppliers where we can find similarities, berry and snap. Now, we will, as you have spoken about how to integrate two data sheets, right? So we will apply that integration over here. We know there are two suppliers who are similar. So we'll go to raw data. Or instead of this, we can create here. Yes. And we'll say there is a unique field. Before that, we go back here.
Ah. Yes.
Okay.
Senator, what about
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying. Are you there?
Yes, Krish, I'm here only.
Okay. So what I did is we took the list, supplier list, and we broke the supplier list into multiple columns.
Wonderful.
So what I did is I brought that list once again back to the sheet, and also I have the broken supplier list also. Okay? Broken supplier list and the main supplier list. Okay. Now what I have my purpose is to take the broken supplier list to the our main data sheet. I want to move the data from that broken sheet into this main sheet. So how I do it? I'll use a formula called VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, which is a formula built in Excel. I will write any formula starts with the equal to. Then I will write the VLOOKUP formula. The purpose of VLOOKUP is to transfer the data from one sheet to another. I'll write a opening bracket. Okay. I'll select ADCO Industries. I'll I'll put comma. Then I'll go back to the sister concern file. Then I'll choose again the first cell, ADCO Industries. And I'll go to the cell to which we need to transfer the data to. So select this. Then I'll say Control Shift and drag. Then I'll put dollar sign. So how many columns here? We need about two columns. So this is the formula. So see, the data from the sister concern has been transferred to this unique field. So purpose of transferring this is because we can actually now consolidate the data or consolidate the volume of the purchase order or consolidate the value of the purchase order by this data, the transfer data. So previously we saw Berry, Snap-on and Snap. They were different suppliers. Now if I consolidate the Snap-on and Snap by Snap only, so I'll get the consolidated trading value or the purchase order value or purchase order volume to one supplier. See, if you look at here, Snap-on and Snap-on Specialty Tool Division now will be named as only Snap or will say Snap-on. Now the Berry Corporation, Berry Material Handling and Berry Plastic Corporations were two different entities. Now we'll name them as only Berry Corporation, Berry Corp. So we're creating a new supplier list. We're creating a new supplier list. That new supplier list is consolidated. Previously, supplier list. Both will be one supplier. Hello.
Yes, Krish.
You got the point?
Hello.
Yeah, you got the point.
Yes, Krish.
So
I'm understanding.
why did I transfer this Berry Corp into the main sheet, the main data sheet,
Thank you.
right? Because previously the two suppliers were different entities. Now, as per the new transfer, both the suppliers will be not called two new suppliers. They will be called as only one supplier. So we by this way we can know the consolidated order volume. So I've done the transfer here already. So I will name this as a new consolidated supplier data. It was non-consolidated supplier data. Okay. Now we will run the pivot table to understand that the non-consolidated and the consolidated data, how much difference is for those two suppliers. So I'll go back to the pivot data which we already have created long back. And in this, I will have to refresh it. In this, we are going to analyze every time because whenever we add a new columns or new variables or a new business fields, so we always go to analyze and go to refresh drop down, and then we click refresh all. So let's see whether the new fields are added or not. If you look at here, you can see that the new variables are added. It is called non-consolidated and consolidated supply data. Okay.
Second column.
Yeah, two columns have been added. So I'll remove the status name because we don't want to do any status name. So we'll also remove. We require total order value, supplier, non supplier, consolidated and non-consolidated. Okay. From here we'll select two suppliers. So I'll select here Berry. So we have selected Berry, and let me select from here itself. First is Berry Corp, and second is Snapper. Okay. This is the two suppliers where we did the consolidation. Now let's see. Let's copy this and I'll name this file as consolidated savings. Supplier consolidated savings. And I'll paste the data which I have copied there. Let's see the total order value. order value is, sorry, total order volume is
C3 plus C4.
C3 plus C4, that is 3990. And total order value is 14 lakhs
5,
55,777,
725.
right? Now, similarly, we do this for the Snap-on also. Total, remove this, grand total, grand total here. So, this is a total, and we do the same thing for the order. Okay. There are two scenarios. Scenario one, without consolidation, with consolidation discounts. Okay. So, let's the total spending without consolidation is 1455,723.
On order value.
Yeah, order value. Let's assume if I consolidate and I get 15% discount, if I consolidate and I get 15% discount, what will 85? Why 0.85? Because we're getting 15% discount. Or we'll say we're getting 15%
By
discount.
85.
This
By 85.
yeah. So
B14 by 85.
yeah, that also we can do. Or we say 15% discount means 15% lesser than the original value. 15%
Okay.
lesser than the original value. So what is the original value? This is the original value. B14 is the original value.
14 double 5 total.
0.15 into the original value.
100. That's 14.
Okay. So how much is the savings here? This minus this. So 2 lakhs
18 now?
rupees 45 paisa
48 paise.
saving. This is for whom? This is for material. Very
Fish here. 15% is our assumption.
yeah, assumption.
Okay. If we consider 15%, we can uh, save around 2 lakhs 18,358 rupees.
Correct, correct. Total order value for Snap-on. How much? 336, 3,68,000, right?
3 lakhs 68,239 rupees.
239 rupees. Let's assume we'll get only 10%, 8% discount on this. So this minus into 0.08. Okay, that is this much. What is it? What is the savings here? This minus this. So that is
29,000.
29,000 rupees. So Okay, so this is a way of projection only, right? We're doing spend analytics, means we are trying to do predict. We're doing spend analytics. We're trying to predict. Okay,
Predict.
so we also need to understand, we need to also predict using some algorithms that how much discounts we can get. That we'll study in the next class. We'll see if we create time. We can also study that in the current class also. So what is the probability that the supplier will give us 15% discount? What is the probability that the supplier will give us 10% discount? Right? The question is, what is the probability of supplier giving us
Giving 15% discount.
50% discount? So we need to actually also see this kind of study. So here we can use logistic regression. You can also calculate the odds or the odds ratio, right? So first we'll calculate this probability, then we'll go for the odds, then we'll go for the odds ratio. Odds ratio, there are multiple applications are there for, so we'll discuss it in some other time. So here I can think about multiple possibilities. If I get 5% discount, then what is the, suppose I say that I just do that. Let's do one rough calculation. There is the chance of, I'll write this discount percentage and probability. Probability 5%. That's 0.05. Probability is only 15%. That's 0.15. 10%. That is 0.10%. Okay? Probability is 45%. Means 0.45. When I say 0.15, probability is how much? 45%. Okay. What is the expected discount percent? What is the expected discount percent? So how do you calculate 0.05 into 0.15 plus zero point 0.1 into its probability plus 0.15 into its probability. What is the, what is expected discount percentage? This is like just like an average. Okay, just like an average. What is the average discount percent? So this is a way to calculate the expected discount percent. So here instead of 15%, we can put 12%. Have you studied about this expected discount, expected probabilities?
No, great.
Yeah. So this is one of the important concepts in this in analytics, that how to calculate the expected probabilities. So first we need to what is the discount percent? This is a parameter, and for each this parameter or an event. Okay, this is a parameter or an event. For this event, what is the probability? For second event, what is the probability? For third event, what is the probability? So what is the net probability? Let's say net probability, sorry, net event impact or net event percentage, or net discount percentage. So net discount percentage, that is equal to 0.05 into 0.15 for the first case. For the second case, again zero point 0.1 into 0.45, like this we can calculate. Okay, what is the net net discount percent? That is 0.12.
12%.
12%. So this is a way you have to calculate. And there is a we'll develop a model for this later on, and we'll measure this. See, we know that how to calculate this, but how to calculate the probability for 0.45%, how to calculate the probability for 0.1%, how to calculate the probability for 0.15%. That's what we need to that's we need to find that. So how to find probability? That's a different question. But we know once we have the numbers of probability for a discount percent, so how to calculate the expected discount percent? Means how to calculate the average discount percent. So that's we know how to calculate that, right? This is the way. This is very important concept. So in this case, whenever we are actually finalizing that how the suppliers do belong to the same entity, or suppliers have different names, but sometimes suppliers will have different name also. Here, suppose if I'm going back to the raw data, let me go to sister concern sheet. So here, the names Adco Industries and Air Technologies are not same. It doesn't mean that they cannot be sister concerns. Okay, so we need to perform a good research on this, because if we know that couple of organizations or 3 4 organizations belong to the same entity, then the chances of getting a discounts are very high. Because when we say that we are ordering from this, because it's just like ordering from the same supplier. Of course, they have different.
Yes, what if uh, the management is different for the
See, management can be different, but because suppose, but each of them will have investments, shares, equities, right? So there is a chance of getting a discount.
Yes, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose we have Berry Corporation.
Okay.
They have Berry Material Handling and Berry Plastic Corporation.
Okay.
Okay, two companies are there under Berry Corporation.
Okay.
Suppose Berry Material Handling, they are trying to set up a plant in India,
Okay.
and Berry Plastic Corporation also want to set up a plant in India,
Okay.
but in different locations.
Okay.
Okay, suppose Berry Material Handling have given, suppose for a civil execution, civil project.
Okay.
Suppose if they give 10,000 rupees per meter cube,
Okay.
and Berry Plastic Corporation in their project they have given 15,000 rupees per meter cube.
Okay.
Suppose. So then how can we negotiate?
Okay. So see here, mm, give you one example. So there are suppliers from the same entity, okay? And by this is the case where we're getting quotes from all the different entities for the same category. The quote price somebody is giving us 12,000 rupees, and somebody is giving us 10,000. Very Classics is giving us the same quote for 10,000 rupees. Very Engineers has given the same quote for 22,000. And then Very Systems has given us a quote of you know 19,000 rupees. Like this, all very close. Okay, because we need to have a complexity of making a decision. Okay. Let me tell you the region also. The region is India. They are based in India. They are based in US. This is based in Sri Lanka, and this is based in
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. So if you look at the most and we are based also at India. So this is 22,000. Now, which is the minimum code? The first thing we'll try to understand is the minimum code.
We collected 4 code.
Yeah, correct four code. We'll try to understand what is the minimum code. There is formula code MI min, and we'll apply the formula. As you know, for this is a small data set, so we can easily understand which is the minimum code. But if you have a big data set, for the time you have to apply formula called min.
Minimum. Maximum minimum.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I lost the data. I didn't save it also. Okay, let me save it. Okay. Now what we do is, after finding the minimum code, we need to understand from which particular supplier is getting the minimum code. So here there is a formula called offset. Let me try this. Next one. That is okay. I'll figure out what is the issue in the formula later on. So meanwhile, I'll tell you the formula also later on. Meanwhile, meanwhile, you have to figure out which particular supplier is offering us a minimum quote. That is very plastic, and second is from Sri Lanka. Okay. Now, it's a very clear-cut decision. Right? Very clear-cut decision that we have to offer this supplier the order, 18,000 Sri Lanka. Okay. Now, but there is a challenge. Challenge is the logistics challenge. So why there is a logistics challenge is because the supplier belongs to Sri Lanka, and there would be there would be issue in managing the project in India from Sri Lanka. So we have a supplier from India, and who is actually offering the same project at 4,000 more rupees, 4,000 more than the Sri Lankan one. So how to handle this? How to handle this? And second thing, all belongs to the same entity, Berry. Okay. So the strategy should be put pressure on the supplier, asking the contract on lower than what Sri Lankan supplier is offering, Sri Lankan entity is offering. Why? Why we need to do this? If a nation, if a entity which is based in Sri Lanka, considering all the transportation costs, everything, they're charging they're charging 18,000 rupees, and a country which is from India is charging 22,000 rupees, where there is no transportation element is involved. Much of as much Sri Lanka is there, as much as Sri Lanka has to do. So we can easily say, why you are charging 22,000 rupees? There is no transportation cost involved, and you are saying your sister concern is he has given a quote of 18,000 rupees. We can there is a possibility of reducing the entire service cost less than 18,000 rupees for you, right? So this is a clear case, a clear opportunity is visible here in this case, where a entity from
Hello. Hello.
hello, hello,
Hello.
yeah,
Yes.
Prashant,
I have one doubt.
yeah,
Here, Sri Lankan Berry Plastics is offering for 18,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on which supplier should we put pressure to get down the price?
Yeah. So, for us, the most I'm giving first priority to India. Okay.
Oh,
Because what happens
okay.
is in India we can control the Indian supplier much better than the Sri Lankan supplier,
Okay.
right? Because they would be near to us, so it will better to manage a Indian supplier, or else
Okay.
because if you manage a American supplier, this will be much difficult, or a Sri Lankan or Bangladesh supplier. By
Okay.
managing an Indian supplier is a much more easier option. So that's the way we will look at. So now I can now understand, like a corporation, a similar berry corporation from a different nation. Okay, a different nation is actually offering lesser than what Indian supplier is offering. So because if any component, if any cost component, if we just understand the cost components.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Please, I have one more doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose our target location is India,
Yeah.
okay, but we have taken quotations from all over the world, like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, and USA. Okay.
Okay.
So the Indian supplier is not giving the discount. It's not more than 1,000 or 500 rupees.
Okay.
Okay. In this case, what to do?
So if my question will be, is all belong to same entity or all are different entities? Means
All are same entities only.
same
If
entity.
all are same,
Same entity.
yeah,
So you see,
yeah.
different things. I'm just telling the cost components here. Cost components, material cost.
And if they all are same entities, then why should we take quotation from them?
Yeah. So see, in this case, we have a very clear distinction. Berry material, berry plastics, berry engineers, berry system. Very clear distinction here, right? Suppose instead of they all belong to Berry Corporation, I'll give a different name. They're all Berry Corp, but they have different names. I'll say A or B or C or D. Okay. So, and this is I don't know. I don't know that they are from the same corporation. They belong to the same entity, right? ABCD. I know only they are different entities. ABCD. I don't know they belong to the same corporation or they belong to the same entity. If, then in the normal scenario, the buyers will not put so much of mind to understand whether they belong to the same corporation. A consultant like you will go and do the research and find that ABCD, A, B, C, and D actually belong to the same corporation. In general scenario, buyers don't put so much of mind to understand that whether these suppliers belong to the same corporation or same entity. And even if they know that they belong to the same entity, there are chances, there are possibilities that they can negotiate and bring down the prices by comparing the one supplier with the second supplier. Okay, so this all happens at the end when we do the strategic analysis. When we do the strategic analysis, then we come to know that ABCD belong to the same supplier. So let's assume that we have a matured buyer. Okay, we have a buyer who is very matured, who understands that ABCD belongs to the same entity. So how he tackles that? How he tackles the negotiation? Okay, so he has material cost, transportation cost, taxation,
Manpower,
management cost. Okay, the manpower cost. Okay, then documentation cost,
licensing,
licensing. So all those things.
port charges.
Yeah, port charges. That's all material. Because that's come from the transportation cost. So when you understand all these components, then a Indian supplier charges 22,000 rupees as compared to the American supplier. So American supplier should have charged more than the Indian supplier because he has to spend money on the more money on the transportation, on the taxation, management, documentation, licensing. So a American supplier will invest more money than the Indian supplier, right? So why the Indian supplier is charging more than the American supplier? It's a very liable question to be asked. So through these particular channels, through particular this analysis, you will come to understand that an Indian supplier can charge a lower cost than the American supplier or equal to the American supplier. A Sri Lankan supplier who is charging lesser than the Indian supplier, where the same thing applies. He has to do the transportation, he has to apply the taxation, he has to pay the export duty, he has to pay the customs, he has to pay so many, he has to pay, what do you say, octroi. So many things he has to pay, and still is charging less than the Indian supplier. Why? So, based upon this analysis, we can ask Indian supplier or Indian entity who belongs to the same parent company to charge less. And this is a realistic scenario. This happens. There are many suppliers in India. There are many suppliers in India who charges more than if we go to their parent company. And this is a realistic scenario. So that's why if we can actually do the supplier consolidation by their parent company, if we can do the supplier consolidation by parent company, we will attain, we can attain at least 10 to 15% cost savings. And this is another trick also the parent company applies. If they open, if they actually start a new company where nobody can track whether this belongs to a parent company, okay, so they can get more leverage in terms of getting the orders and giving the less discounts to the supplier. This is also a trick played by many parent companies.
Supplier. Okay.
Okay, so our job is as a strategic sourcing guy or a strategic analyst. Okay, we have to find those parent companies which belongs to these companies.
By doing market research, Chris.
Correct. By doing market research, we can find who belongs to the same who belongs to the parent companies, which companies belong to the parent companies, who are actually close to sister concerns. So like this, we can do consolidation and find the opportunities for saving.
Suppose, Chris, here by observing the word berry, we have separated the two companies in this case.
Correct.
What if the name is hidden and the names are different? In that case, how should we handle?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying we have to find the parent companies, right, by doing market research. So if we do
Okay.
market research, we can easily find it. Suppose how there are many ways to do market research. I'll tell I can find the company registration details. Okay, so
Okay.
I will find the owner's name, the founder's name there. So so that's why one way we can actually do one of the ways we to find that, okay, yes, one of the founders of this company has the share in the next other company. So we can talk to the owners of the company and put them pressure to give us the discounts.
Okay.
That's one of the way. Okay.
Okay.
Now some of the companies, some of the companies can easily be tracked. We don't need to go to the founders. Okay, some of the easy companies can easily be tracked that which companies have the sister concerns. So they have to they have to declare those things to the government. That's also one of the ways. So we can get those data from various sources. So there is at least we can earn 10% discounts, 5 to 10% discounts if we do supply consolidation.
Okay.
So there are two more consolidations we have to do. That is one by the facility wise order consolidation, and second is the category and categories, material category and supplier consolidation, and that we will study in the next class. So we will be ending up our class session on over here itself. In the next class, we will
Okay.
study the category and supply consolidation and facility wise order consolidation.
Okay.
Okay, so this is those two scenarios also will generate us a good amount of cost savings.
Okay.
Okay.
This all comes under cost reduction initiative.
Yeah, this all comes under cost reduction initiatives, or we can also say spend minimization.
Okay.
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 Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions, Prashant?
I have one doubt. Yesterday you have shared the Excel sheets, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In that sheet, some raw data is missing. Please.
Raw data is missing.
Yes, please.
Okay, okay. I'll see. I'll check it and I'll send you again. Hmm?
I want to practice it in Tableau.
Okay, 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 okay. So
Okay.
today I'll be sharing this sheet. This will have a raw data. Okay,
Okay, please.
so you can
Okay.
use this data. Hmm?
Okay. Just one more doubt.
Yeah.
How to find procurement fraud?
Okay, procurement fraud, right? So that is,
That is not possible by legal ways.
see, that is possible. I know that we need to do the data analysis, right? So we'll see that. We'll also find that. Hmm? I'll tell you next class how to find that
Okay.
procurement fraud. Okay?
Okay.
So how to
Okay.
see, this is all about trending. How the trend goes on, and
Okay.
also bit of market research is also involved. If you find something,
Okay.
suppose somebody has bought the item on 15 rupees on the first time, on second purchase is purchasing at 25 rupees. Okay,
Mm,
there's 10 rupees jump. Why the 10 rupees jump has happened?
mm.
Third time he purchased again on 18 rupees. Why there is a slump in the price of 3 rupees? Then why? Then that's one way. Wherever we see a data hike means there is an outlier, means something fishy is there. So we have to
Price.
find
Price.
price
Okay.
hike. Yeah. One. Second thing, we also can do this. Suppose shelf life or longevity of a part is 100 days. So, so we are generating the next order after 100 days. Okay, but suddenly you see the order cycle has reduced. Order cycle time has reduced from 100 days to 50 days, 40 days. So why order cycle time has been reduced from 100 days to 40 days? So we'll understand that okay, some products are not up to the mark in terms of the quality. Okay, so why the products are not up to the mark in terms of the quality? Why? And then we have to go to the price. So the previously bought a product which ran for 100 days without any repair, and the price of the product was 100 rupees. Now we bought a second product from a different supplier, and which has a lower longevity of 30 days to 40 days, and the price of the product is more than the previous one.
Previous one.
So of course we are buying a new product from new supplier, or same product from new supplier at a higher price, and the quality is quite low. Means there is some suspicious element, activity has happened.
Okay. Uh, how to find that one in using this tools and all?
Yeah, this we need to understand if you can draw a correlation between the order cycle and price, order cycle time and price.
Okay.
You can draw a correlation parameter trend correlation between order cycle time and the price. Or you can also draw a correlation between order cycle time and the quality of the product. Hmm? Means the longevity of the product. You can also draw a correlation between the reorder quantities or reorder points and the price of the product. So you can understand that if is there any correlation. So that's one way. Second thing, we also can find the variation, how the variation is all scatter plot only. So all scatter plots.
Okay.
Variation in price versus the quality of the product. Variation is price versus the time, an order cycle, or maybe the time. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see that those things. So if you see that there is a variation in price based upon the time of purchase, then you can also draw a correlation between supplier and price.
Okay.
So correlation supplier, scatter plot between supplier and price. You will find that okay, there is a difference in trend. There is a difference. Okay, so that's those things can actually, and then when you find some differences, when you find some variations, when you find some variations, then you can go. If there is a variation, and then you have to go for do the market research. Why the price hike happened? Why the quality has depreciated, even though the price has increased? Then you can talk to suppliers, various suppliers, and do the market research and find that what was the reason. Suppliers also will not tell you, you may, frankly speaking, the if they have done some fraud, they will also hide the information. Then, but you have to come to know that what is the actual quality of that product which has got
Okay.
appreciated.
Mhm.
Then you can know how much money has been earned by your buyer in this deal.
Okay.
So basically, you have to see what are the performance parametrics like quality, lead time, quality versus price, lead time versus price,
Right.
supplier versus price, then longevity versus price, order cycle versus price, right?
Correlation.
Correlation, scatter
Okay.
plot. If you find a huge variation, then there is a fraud.
Then there is the fraud.
Then there is a fraud.
Okay. Please one more doubt.
Yeah.
How to fix the timeline for these projects, this kind of projects?
See, fix the timeline for these projects is, depends upon data, how much data you have, and what is the scope of the project. See, as we are studying here, supplier consolidation, we are studying the order consolidation, we are studying the category consolidation, we are studying the forecasting inequities impact, we're studying the lead time inequities impact. So what we need to see is, how many questions you're covering in the supply in the spend savings or spend analytics. How many strategies you are going to cover. Okay, so it's not like that.
It depends. It depends upon our interest whether we should give different scenarios to our client, or client will give the questions.
Yeah, clients, no, we have to see, what is the costing. The client says, I want to work on these areas only. Okay, so all upon the scope, how what you determine in the scope.
Okay.
Okay, so the scope. So as we are studying a lot of things here, but in the general scenario, in the actual scenario, you can't apply all the strategies because the client pricing will be quite less. But then so in a scenario where client pricing is very high, okay, then you might have to cover more scenarios. In the third scenario where clients say I want 20% savings, whatever you do, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, in that case you have to forget about another scope. You have to give 20% 25% savings. Okay, so
Okay.
what happens is if clients processes are very inefficient, okay, so you can achieve the 20% 25% savings by applying three or four strategies only. You don't have to apply all the strategies. If client processes are very inefficient, then you can achieve those savings by applying two strategies only or three strategies only,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So the
If he's not following the proper procurement practices.
correct. So it's not following the proper procurement practices. Then we can get the percent of savings in very with using by using few strategies only. See the major lead time in actually doing spend analytics is the data preparation.
Okay.
That is a major lead time. 70% or 80% of the time will go on the data preparation.
Okay.
So nowadays, SVM is helping a lot. Support vector machines is helping a lot. So the lead time to do the job of this data preparation through SVM has reduced the entire lead time by almost 120%. So last time when last project which I did on the Excel only, and data preparation itself took me around 15 days alone.
Okay.
If I would have used three resources, I would have done it in around 7 or 8 days. But when I worked alone on this, 15 days was on data preparation, and analysis
Okay.
was only 3 days. Analysis and output
Okay.
preparation was only 3 days. So it took me 18 days to complete the project. So and it's also very less time,
Okay.
right? So at the most you can devote only at the most you can put hardly 1 month to complete one spend analytics project, not more than 1 month.
Okay. Okay. This in what are the different projects comes under spend analytics projects?
See, what are the different projects? See, generally, if see spend analytics is a part of the procurement analytics. Okay, So procurement
Okay.
analytics is a superset, and spend analytics is a subset of the procurement analytics. Okay. Then when you do spend analytics, you have to also give client the recommendation. That is called strategic sourcing. So you have
Okay.
to give the plan for next 5 years to the client. Okay. So that is called strategic sourcing. Then second aspect is called you have to also structure the client processes and systems so that they work on that particular path or systems only. That is called business process re-engineering.
Okay.
Okay. So three things you have to do. First is you have to do the spend analytics and give the path or give the projections that how much savings can be generated and what is the prescription. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, you have to derive a strategic sourcing plan for the next 5 years. Okay. Third thing, you have to define a new business process. You have to define a new business process by engineering it. So those three things you have to do. And fourth thing is also called spend optimization. Okay. So that we also learn spend optimization also we have to learn. So those things we have to do. So everything revolves around making the system perfect.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So any other questions?
No, please.
Oh, great, great. So great questions, Prashant. I really like that you a lot of curiosities, a lot of curiosity was there. So keep
Please, I
asking.
have one more doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose if there is a logistics company,
Hmm.
suppose if we take first flight or DTDC,
Okay.
they have their own transportation
Okay.
by air, by road, or by railway.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so in this case, uh, can we build a model like Ola or Uber
Yeah, yeah, we can.
with the,
We can
with the those kind of data?
see what is objective here. We need to understand the objective. So objective is suppose
Okay.
uh, the first objective is order clustering. Okay.
Okay.
Order clustering. So suppose order clustering. Then second objective is order consolidation, and
Okay.
third objective is loading optimization. Okay.
Okay.
Loading optimization. The three objectives we have. Okay. So order consolidation. Suppose one guy is there. He's in suppose in Begumpet, and one guy is there in suppose in you'll say LB Nagar. Okay. Now we have to understand. Uh, let's forget this guy concept. So we have getting a lot of orders from LB Nagar, but we have an office of DTDC in Begumpet. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the use of having an office in Begumpet when we are getting plenty of orders from LB Nagar,
Okay.
right? So people from LB Nagar, they're coming to deliver the order deliver the order to DTDC Begumpet office. So,
Megambyte.
so this is one thing, by understanding the order volume by region, we can actually open a new office in the area where we're getting lot of orders. So we can give a franchisee to a guy at LB Nagar, and we can, so what happens is here is a lead time to get the material from customers at our facility will be reduced. Okay.
Okay.
What is the impact of this? The impact of this is that if customer hand overs the product to the local office in if in less than half an hour, so the packing and delivery of that particular order will actually give a very big impact. How? Suppose there is a truck. A truck is waiting to get the entire load to get entirely loaded, because if every customer half an hour is reduced, if every customer half an hour is reduced, so our truck loading time will actually also reduce, because we are
Okay.
waiting, our truck is waiting lesser time now. So our customers products are reaching at higher velocity to the facility. So
Okay.
if every customer's half an hour is reduced, the truck's loading time will actually improve by, will reduce by 3 to 4 hours, or 4 to 5 hours, maybe say. So truck will get loaded faster, and it will go to the customer's final destination also faster, right? So
Okay.
if you reduce the distance of supply of the customers to the facility, then our trucks trucks loading time will reduce, uh, and trucks will leave the facility faster, and will reach the customer destination also very faster. The entire on-time delivery and the entire service level will improve drastically because of this. Second point. Now trucks are actually getting loaded, depending upon various destination clusters. Suppose one truck may go to route called Vishakhapatnam, Vizag,
From there to Bhubaneswar and
yeah,
Calcutta.
Calcutta. So there is a various clusters, various paths will be there. Destination, no, the
Pass.
clustering will happen on the base of destinations. Okay, so that the
Definitely.
trucks cycle time can be reduced. So a truck has to deliver the product and again come back to the facility for the next delivery. Okay, so that's the
Okay.
cycle time.
Mhm.
So if we actually get that clustering happens little faster, so our overall truck transportation cycle time will also reduce. Some companies, what happens,
Okay.
because the transportation cycle time is very high, so they hire private vehicles, keep on hiring private vehicles because they cannot keep the products in the facility, as the customers delivery has to happen very fast. They cannot actually keep waiting. So what they do, they'll hire a new truck, and they will load the products into in the truck, even though they have their own trucks. But because the trucks cycle times are very high, so they have to hire the new trucks, and they have to pay very huge amount of money to those private parties. Okay. So DTDC, if they want to improve, they need to actually first focus on opening franchises at the place where the order volume is very high. Second thing, they have to do load optimization. They have to minimize their transportation cycle time. Okay, so those things actually will improve their revenue. Those things will also improve they reduce their spending, or they get lot more cost savings.
Okay. Just one more doubt. Uh, Before starting the spend analytics project, first we have to understand the client's RFX process, right?
RFS means,
Hello?
yeah,
RFX.
okay. So for we are talking about the purchasing process, RFQs.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, yes, Krish. Purchasing process.
Yeah. So see, what happens is some of the clients they don't generally will not do very stringent code process, stringent proposal process. Okay. So
Okay.
before actually deciding upon what should be the order, what should be the whom should be the order, they should actually analyze multiple suppliers at one time. They should analyze multiple suppliers at one time. And minimum they should send 3 to 4 quotes for the same product to different supplier. They should receive 3 to 4 quotes from multiple suppliers for the same product. So most of the
Same
companies,
product.
yeah, for the same product. Most of the companies are what they're doing is they don't build, they don't actually receive quotes from multiple suppliers. They make decisions quite faster based upon the quote they receive from one supplier, because they have a relationship. They might be having a
Yes,
relationship,
Krish.
or they might be having they want to do some frauds. Okay, so based upon those things, they will actually, they will not go, they will not collect the quotes from they will not collect the quotes from multiple suppliers.
Krish, one more thing. We have discussed about supplier consolidation, right? Just now.
Yeah, yeah,
Here we found two suppliers, Berry and another one.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Here we found Berry have two companies.
correct,
Here we got an opportunity to negotiate with the price
correct,
for future proposals.
correct.
Okay. In this case, after this analysis, we have for what if there is no if there is only single supplier, all 10,000 suppliers are having only single companies.
Okay. See, that's what we are going to go to next level. Next level, there are two opportunities for that. One is a second is a category consolidation. Suppose I have a category. Okay, a supplier actually is a specific category supplier, and I have alternate supplier also who can also supply the same category, right? So there we will see that if supply is a single entity and we have to create a cost savings, then we will go and ask for cost saving for from the supplier, and if he doesn't give, we'll go to second supplier who supplies the same category.
Okay.
Okay, so there we'll do category consolidation.
If
Okay,
we won't get any information from supplier list, then we have to go to second case, that is category consolidation.
that's category consolidation. Okay, so we can
Okay.
achieve some cost savings there. Suppose if there is one more supplier who can supply the same category by giving additional volume, by giving additional value, right? We can ask some discount from him, as he's not giving, as the current supplier is not giving for the same category.
At least here we can get the purchasing data from our clients. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
In that data, we can't find any for a particular product. We didn't go with multiple quotations. Then how to get that information?
So there is, if there is in every procurement systems, right? If you go to any procurement system, there will be a call. There will be data maintained there. Code data will be maintained there. Okay. So code systems will be there. So if that system is not
Okay.
there, then there should be they should build one Excel sheet where they have actually received quotes from various suppliers. So they will analyze the quotes and see who gave the minimum price, who gave the best AMC, who gave the best quality, who gave the best lead
Okay.
time. So they have to create that particular sheet where they will analyze. Okay, we have the reason of giving the order to a particular supplier, and that will be based upon
Okay.
based on the metrics. So generally, I have seen with the US suppliers where they are maintaining such kind of information. I have not seen those kind of things in India. So India,
Yes, yes, that's why that is the reason I am asking this question.
yeah,
Even in my previous company also, in SAP we don't have any this kind of column or variable. Number of quotations received from particular vendor.
okay, okay. So this is
Only they mention the final price.
correct. So this is what one of the areas which is missing in India. But
Yes, yes.
before actually deciding whom to give the order, we need to do analysis, and that is called RFQ analysis.
Okay.
That is called RFQ analysis. I will share that also. Generally, when I was working for a US based company, I have created that particular template. I can share with you later on. I can share that.
Okay. Okay. Chris, RFQ analysis is a process. Is it a part of spend analytics process?
RFQ analysis. Doing RFQ analysis is a part of the spend analytics process. Okay. Then,
Okay, Chris. Okay.
then we have to see that whether we are giving order. Are we giving order to the best suppliers or not? Or are we doing frauds? Okay. So
Okay. Okay.
that is called process of spend analytics. Means we have to see that are we giving order? Do we have first thing? Do we have a methodology? Do we have a methodology to give the uh, for giving the ordering for actually allotting the order to the right supplier? Okay, that's a methodology. Whether we have that methodology or not. Second thing, if we have a methodology, is that methodology is the right methodology? So those two things are to be analyzed in the spend analytics process. Okay.
Okay.
First thing, whether we have a methodology to allot suppliers. Second thing, the methodology which we are applying, is that methodology is the best methodology or not?
Okay.
Right? Okay. Anything else?
No, Chris.
Great, great, great. Really felt very happy to interact with you on this, and very happy to have received so
Uh,
much
Chris, I
information.
have one more issue.
Okay.
You're sharing some videos on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Uh, in that, I'm hearing the participants' voice also.
Participant voice, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Only the trainer voice should be heard, Chris.
Okay. Let me see. I've given the editing to somebody else, so I have to see ask. If anything is there, we will edit. We'll help you
Okay.
offline.
Okay.
Thank you for informing me.
Yeah. Yes, our next class will be on Friday, right?
Yeah, next class we will have on Friday.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Prashant. Huh?
Thanks.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.